When it comes to the discussion of our changing climate, it can get very heavy. This topic is so vast and overwhelming that it is easier to turn away and ignore it. Climate change in recent years has slowly become a political debate between left-wing liberals and right-wing conservatives. But, unlike many other things, climate change isn't a political opinion. It is a matter of scientific fact. The reality of global warming is non-negotiable when the evidence is right in front of you. Our politicians debate this constantly, but our scientists don't. 97% of scientists agree that climate change is a result of human activity. So why do we believe in scientists when discussing gravity and molecules in the human body, but not this? Why do we believe this is some sort of left-wing conspiracy? Is it because politicians tell us not to worry about it, or is it because humans are just too ignorant to care? Even amongst the population of people who do believe climate change is real, why weren't they doing anything to protect our planet? My name is Rania Tarish, and I spent my time over the next few weeks trying to discover the solutions to these complex questions. Like most people nowadays would, I started my quest by browsing Google. From what I gathered, climate change is when long-term weather patterns are altered. Global warming is one measure of climate change, and it is the one that people are most familiar with. All life on Earth is possible by the warmth radiating off of Mr. Sunshine. While some of the radiation from the sun bounces back into space, some gets trapped in our atmosphere. Carbon dioxide is the most important gas in this insulation layer on our atmosphere. There's so much carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases that our planet's atmosphere is now a thick, heat-trapping blanket. The result? The climate changes and the Earth gets hotter. Online, there were so many simple and easy solutions to better our environment, things that seemed so achievable and things I was already doing in my everyday life and wasn't even realizing it. I figured if I was doing these things and not aware of it, maybe my peers were doing the same too. I wanted to take this broad spectrum of an idea and analyze it at a more local and connected level. I interviewed those I saw in my everyday life to get an understanding of their own opinions regarding this topic. I began by asking if they believed in our changing climate.
Yeah, I think it is a thing. I do.
Yes.
Yes, I do. Yes.
And what have you done today to better the environment?
I turned the water off while I was brushing my teeth. I have recycled the water bottle.
Oh, today? Nothing.
If I'm being honest, I haven't really done anything, but I think it's important that our whole world makes a change.
After asking my peers, I realized that although they do believe in climate change, they weren't actually doing much to prevent its negative effects. I decided to get a different perspective of someone who is much more knowledgeable on this topic. So, I asked my high school's geography teacher, Dave Collins, to hear his views.
I think there's a hesitation for people to want to do anything about climate change because it's very similar to voting. Sometimes we don't think that our one vote's going to make a difference, so therefore we don't feel like our one little action that we do or we choose to do is going to make a major impact.
Mr. Collins had an interesting perspective as to why people aren't taking immediate action. His analogy of voting really helped me better understand this issue because it reinforced what I had already thought. People are apathetic. I wanted to further my understanding even more, so I spoke to professional climatologist Gordon McVeigh.
I think we need to, first of all, get people to realize that we are a very we're prosperous but also a kind of wasteful society. We need to think from an environmental point of view broadly than climate change, but issues of sustainable development in the broad sense of that word as to how do we be less wasteful.
What Gordon said was right. We need to ask ourselves, how do we be less wasteful on a regular basis? After collecting this information, I've been able to understand that climate change is happening right in front of us, but we are too ignorant to care. From the last few weeks, I've learned that it is action that must be taken to better our environment, not apathy. And it is only possible if we stop thinking about ourselves and start thinking about the earth beneath our feet.